Hey guys, I'm Ryan.
I'm Adam.
And this is Two Neighbors. So Adam, what are we watching today?
Alright guys, in high demand, you guys wanted more Canadian content, so we're giving you more Canadian content. And this one is from a Canadian channel actually, mojo.com.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is called Top 10 Things Canadians Want You to Know. So we will validate this.
Yeah, we'll let you know if we want you to know this.
What you should know. Guys, before we begin, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, Two Neighbors. It takes 2 seconds of your time and we really do appreciate it. Don't forget to turn on that little bell for notifications because we post content
every single day.
Every single day. And check out okanswag.com, punch in Two Neighbors in the coupon code at checkout and you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping and pay no tax on some sweet Canadian swag. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what we need everyone else to know, or want everyone else to know.
Everyone's favorite friendly country has some fun facts to share. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Canadians want you to know.
All right,
before we begin,
let's go.
We publish new content every day. So
go
be
subscribe
sure to subscribe
Mojo.
to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking to clarify Canadian stereotypes, correct misconceptions, or generally gush about things that we think you should know about this North American country.
I'm Canadian.
Number 10, it's not winter all the time. When many people think of Canada, they picture blizzards and polar bears. And don't forget the stereotype that all Canadians live in igloos.
My good friend Nantuk and I
we did this one, it was good.
built an igloo to protect ourselves from polar bears and flying hockey pucks.
While it's true that Canadian winters can be intense and long, Canada does warm up during the summer months. Igloos would be pretty useless.
There are many ways to describe the summer of 2012. Hot, dry, extreme. But if you're feeling the burn, consider it a unifying Canadian experience.
Like in many other countries, Canadian seasons are varied and unique. Visit in the summer or fall, and you'll be surprised at just how warm it can get, especially in the southern part of the country. Though one thing is certainly true. Visiting Montreal in the winter can get a little slippery. Number 9, Toronto is not the capital of the country. While there is a joke that they like to consider themselves the center of the universe, contrary to popular belief, Toronto is not the capital of Canada.
So, you guys doing anything fun while you're in town?
Fun. In Toronto.
It is, however, the largest city in Canada by population, and the 4th largest in North America, just above Chicago. The title of Canadian capital goes to the much smaller and quieter Ottawa.
How did we end up with Ottawa?
So it is the capital of Canada.
A lovely city dedicated mainly to being the center of government. Much like Washington, D.C., Ottawa often gets mocked for being boring.
Suburban Ottawa's great. It has everything Brooklyn does. Really? Yes! Other than my job and my friends and my family, you, interesting people, museums, restaurants.
While not as exciting as Toronto, perhaps, Ottawa's charms are still not to be missed.
Ottawa!
Did she say weird?
Of Central Canada.
Did she say that weird? Meaning
Number
that
8,
she's from Ottawa?
a Canadian invented basketball. Believe it or not, it was the Canadian James Naismith, a McGill University graduate, who invented this popular sport back in 1891. Naismith was a phys ed teacher at the YMCA International Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts. He struggled with a class of students who were disobedient and short-tempered due to being stuck inside all day thanks to a harsh winter. He resolved to create an indoor game to keep the students distracted and that would help them stay in shape.
Canadian
the
moment.
end result was basketball.
100 years after James Naismith from Almont, Ontario invented it, basketball was being played by hundreds of millions of people.
Heritage moment.
Yeah. And that's why Canada's known for basketball.
7, Canadian bacon is just ham.
There's bacon. Canadian bacon.
Yep, that's right. The term Canadian bacon is actually one made up by Americans. In Canada, it's known as back bacon, which is a far more accurate term, but really it's just ham. Just look at it. Does that really look like bacon? No. And Canada agrees.
If ham's Canadian bacon, then what the hell do you call bacon?
Canadians take their bacon seriously. And as
we
such,
do.
the fact that Canada's come to be associated with this term borders on being offensive to the Canadian culinary world. In all seriousness, real Canadian bacon is excellent if you live south of the border. So if you want a real taste of Canadian bacon, you'll just have to make the trip. we highly recommend the maple glazed variety.
No! You gave me
Maple
Canadian bacon instead of bacon? This misdeed cannot go unpunished.
Number 6. Tim Hortons isn't our only national coffee chain. Sure, when you're in the mood for a quick double-double or a box of Timbits, Timmy's is a great place to stop.
Thanks for the free donuts. Just donuts. Okay,
Second
they're
cup.
like 2 for a loony.
But it's not Canada's only coffee chain, or even its
Really?
best. Second Cup is another of Canada's national coffee chains, and some would argue it's much better, albeit typically more expensive.
Is that your second cup of coffee?
Third. Why?
You could also try Montreal-based Van Hoot, which has cafes across the province of Quebec.
Yeah, Van Hoot's
While
good coffee.
competitive pricing, amazing marketing campaigns, and its place in pop culture has made Tim Hortons the reigning champ, you still got
I
options.
still like Timmy's.
Plus, you even
not
have
Canadian.
Starbucks.
Still like them.
Brazilian.
Is excellent.
Now.
Number
Now.
5. We have 2 official languages.
My friend in Canada who got married way too young, they had to do their vows twice, once in French.
They speak
English
French
and
there too.
Newfoundlander.
This is a mess.
The history of Canada is shaped by both the English and the French, with the two both laying claim to parts of the land until the 7 Years' War, at the end of which France ceded its colony to the English. Thanks to the policies of official bilingualism enacted in the 20th century, both languages are protected and represented today.
If it's Canada, just say the word. And then say it again in French.
These policies ensure that citizens can be served by the federal government in both languages, and politicians seeking to lead the country typically learn both French and English.
Leadership is about bringing people of all different perspectives together. Je veux aussi rendre hommage à Thomas Mulcair.
While most of the francophone population lives in Quebec, there are many French-speaking communities across Canada, including a large one
Northern
in
Ontario?
New Brunswick.
Au Québec, on travaille en français. Fine.
Bon cop, bad cop.
That leaves the rest of Canada under my jurisdiction, with the possible exception of some areas of New Brunswick.
Number 4. Canada is pretty progressive. Compared to our neighbors, it often seems like Canada is lauded for being a progressive paradise.
When I think about Canada, I actually think of progressive.
While it has its own share of social problems and debates, it is true that most of the fights on social issues that take such precedence in the American media have been solved
Oh, short
in
little
Canada.
flagpole.
This is due in large part to stark differences between Canadian and American culture. Access to abortion is almost a non-issue. Gay marriage has been legal since 2005, and even the Conservative Party doesn't oppose it.
You know, the strongest evidence for genuinely demonstrating a domestic partnership is to take a quick drive on up to Canada and legitimize your relationship.
Legitimize?
Get married.
There are still many problems in Canada, and it's by no means a progressive utopia. But the country should be proud of all the progress it's already made.
We should move to Canada.
Number 3. Not all police officers are Mounties. Those officers dressed in red suits and great big hats are members of the RCMP, or
We almost
Royal
never see them.
Canadian
No.
Mounted Police.
It's more in the West.
Cops are called Mounties.
While Canada does indeed
There is
use
a
Mounties on the
Mountie
federal
dispatch
level,
in town.
cities
Is there?
and
Yeah.
municipalities use regular police officers, as they do in most countries.
Regular.
Mounties enforce federal laws.
Just standard
and will work
cops.
closely with the provinces and municipalities in order to accomplish their goals. And their tasks include dealing with organized crime, drug trafficking, and border control, among many other federal offenses. So,
They kinda be
yes,
like
Canada
FBI, I would
does
think.
have
Yeah.
Mounties, but no, they don't go around solving crimes on horseback. And the country does rely heavily on municipal police forces as well. Also, Mounties don't always dress like that either.
Oh, Canada.
Party.
Our home and native land.
Number 2, healthcare isn't free. It's paid for by taxes.
Yeah, let's settle this right now.
Doesn't matter. They have free health care.
Often when talking about the great things in Canada,
It's close to free,
healthcare
though.
is brought
Yeah.
up. But that term is a bit of a mischaracterization. Healthcare in Canada isn't somehow free. That'd make no sense. It's just paid for by taxpayer dollars. Because access
You don't
to
go
universal
bankrupt when you
healthcare
hurt yourself,
services
though.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
considered a right in Canada.
Canada? What, is everyone going to have access to universal health care so no one has to choose between going bankrupt and treating a life-threatening illness?
While some arguments persist
There
about
you
the
go.
best way to design and maintain a program of universal healthcare, and there are still complaints that Canada's system lags behind those in European countries, the large majority of Canadians agree that it's been incredibly beneficial, and that healthcare is a
Yeah.
great use of tax money.
Here's the healthcare.
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Real maple syrup. I hate that Faco kind.
What's the bad about being Canadian?
Your milk comes in bags.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently ketchup is so hot in Canada that they just threw the artificial flavoring all over the chips here.
#1.
Hey, ketchup chips
Not
this morning.
everyone has that
course you did.
stereotypical accent.
There's not going to be any fight without Scott Riles and the incredibly
Jim Carrey,
polite
Canadian.
Canadian news team.
Sorry about that, eh? While the accent does exist, it's more common in rural areas. And even then, people in the Maritimes and Newfoundland have their own distinct accent.
Sometimes
Oh,
have
yeah.
a funny way of saying things like a boot,
And the way they say about.
which sounds like, what's that? A boot?
The majority of Canadians you meet, who will likely be from the big cities, don't talk with that accent. In fact, they sound very similar to Americans from big cities.
You got a weird thing for Canadian melodrama.
Or a weird thing for girls who say a boot.
We will concede that Canadians do say the word a lot, but it's often misused by those mocking Canada.
I moved here from Canada and they think I'm slow, eh?
A is another way of saying right or, you know,
Right,
at the end of
yeah.
a sentence. Not a random word we just interject in the middle of conversations. Bet you learned something new today, eh?
I do say it a
What do we
lot.
look like? Rookies? Sorry.
We do say sorry a lot, we do say a lot, but yeah, we don't make it that awkwardly where like you just throw a wherever. It's
Yeah.
more of like, hey, hey,
Sorry, eh?
hey,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's like, it's also like used like an acknowledgement. Like you talk about something and you just say like add a at the end of it to just be like, do you acknowledge? It's like a question almost, like, you know?
Yeah, it's a very good use. I think it's in our dictionary. A?
Probably,
I think
it should
is.
be. If it isn't, add it.
But yeah, those were all in line with what I thought it was going to be.
So the whole healthcare thing, the whole free healthcare. So they say, okay, fine, you pay a little bit more in taxes, and we do. We pay high taxes here, but okay, we've had this forever, and I know there's like a lot of debate in some other countries. I mean, actually, most other developed countries have free healthcare, but we'll say some other countries that people don't want higher taxes or whatever and universal healthcare. You would be very hard pressed to find a Canadian that would give up their healthcare to pay less taxes.
You know, it's like what they said in How I Met Your Mother. Like, you're not going to go bankrupt off of, you know, healthcare. Knowing, like, say you have a traumatic moment in your life, whatever, you're in a car accident, and you get to the hospital. The last thing you want to think about is, how am I going to pay for this?
Yeah, or just the ability to have a terminal illness, like, that could be treated.
Your world
and
is
you're making the
coming
decision not
down
to.
on you. Like, you know, you're not thinking about money. Like, your world, like, you're faced with a disease or whatever, an accident. You don't have to worry about that. That's one thing you don't have to worry about, and that peace of mind is like the best thing ever.
So take it from these two Canadians, if you ever have an option where you can vote for it and you're not sure about, you know, the whole higher taxes thing, trust us.
Trust us.
Do it.
It's an investment.
It is. It's
an investment.
worthwhile.
Yeah, in your life, in your family's life, in your friend's life, knowing that everyone has access to healthcare is a right.
Yeah. And when you want to go skiing and you want to bomb straight down that double black diamond, go for it.
I'll be yelling at you, be like, don't put my dollars at risk.
You don't have to worry about losing your car over it. Just down you go.
Yeah. So guys, once and for all, we've talked about this healthcare thing before. We know it's not free. It isn't our taxes, but it's totally worth it. So, like Ryan said, if you have to vote on something like this, vote free healthcare.
Kind of free.
Whatever it is. Anyways, great video nonetheless. Thank you mojo.com for letting us share that. Guys, please check out okanswag.com, punch in 2 neighbors in the coupon code at checkout, and you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping and pay no tax on some sweet Canadian swag. Lots of cool designs there. Ryan, what else should these lovely people do next?
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. When you hit that subscribe button, make sure you turn on that bell for notifications. We post new content all the time. As well, when the borders open up, come visit Canada and check out some of the stereotypes. And you will spot people saying, hey, we don't realize we're saying it, but we do. But it's different from how you think.
That's it for our show today, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Later, eh?
Hey.